Alright, boys, today's a wonderful day. Today is Saturday, and I completely forgot what that means. And what it means is we are at Software Freedom Day, sponsored by System 76. So make of that what you will. But I wanted to talk about today. On this wonderful day, I was like, ooh, I should make a Gen 2 presentation and like make it like a TED Talk kind of thing. But then I got lazy, and so I didn't do it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to rehash something I've talked about before, but I had a bit more to talk about. And that is freedom of redistribution, because there is a quote commonly attributed to Richard Stallman that says, "Free software is not free as in free beer, but free as in freedom." Now you might think to yourself, "Oh, that means it can be paid." Not really. And here's kind of the problem with that is so with free software you have a few basic freedoms. You have freedom to use the source code, you have free to view the source code, you have free to collaborate on the source code, and you are free to uh, redistribute the program, as in you can make copies of it and sell it or whatever you want to do. And a lot of companies do this, right? Like you can obviously go online and you can buy a copy of Arch Linux, and this is more used in like enterprise settings. You know, it's not really something you're probably gonna do, but that there are ways to monetize free software, and obviously that's one of them because the program's free, but you can sell it if you want to. Or if you're like Red Hat, you can sell support for free software, which is what a lot of companies have been doing. So Stallman's ideas on how to monetize free software are kind of outdated. But this is kind of coming hot off the heels of idiots like Lewis Rossman saying we need to monetize all software. I'm obviously exaggerating what he said a bit, but basically his argument boiled down to free software is free, but we need to charge money for it so that it can get better. And I just vehemently disagree with this, like on a fundamental level, because obviously donations are a separate thing, but the problem with charging for free software, when we say free, we are talking about free as in freedom. And guess what one of your freedoms is? It is you can download a oh yeah, here's the thing, right? So on your Linux repository, all software on the Linux repository is free, as in free beer, as in you just click, you fucking type sudo apt download what, or fucking sudo apt install whatever, and it'll install, and it's free, as in you're not paying for it, it's free. Okay, so that's gonna confuse some people. So this is the problem with redistribution. And what was that audio program that is does have a charge binary? They charge money for the binary. It's like some music editor program, but you are able to download it on any Linux repository you want, and so it's paid, but you can get the full version for free because guess what? Freedom of redistribution. It's free software, you know? So no matter what happens, no matter if I decide I'm going to charge money for the binary of my program, one of the freedoms in free software is you can compile the program yourself, or you can take the binary I made and you can just give it away. You know what I mean? Now that's gonna piss a lot of people off because they're like, "Oh, why would you disrespect the author's wishes? To charge money?" And it's like, shouldn't have made it free then. You should have gone the Rossman route and fucking made it open source, but not really open source. You know what I mean? So, or sorry, open source, but not necessarily free. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my topic for today is yes, free software does not mean free as in free beer, but one of your freedoms is that you must be able to redistribute it for whatever price you want, including free. So it goes by that logic is any program that markets itself as free software will eventually become free of charge, no matter no matter what happens, no matter if you charge for the binary, because unless you want to restrict your freedoms, if you want to make it not free software, you're gonna have to compete with free. You know what I mean? So there's ways to monetize that, but making the program paid is not one of them. And I think that's something that people don't really understand, you know? Like, we rely, as Linux users, we rely on these software repositories. So, like, yeah, you can download a binary of whatever you want, but we rely on these repositories to manage our software, you know? And that does not mean that it only has to be free software, actually. So, despite this, you can distribute proprietary software on a software repository. Windows actually does this with Chocolatey. It fetches like the Steam installer and it downloads it, you know, which is basically how a software repository works for the most part is you're downloading software from somewhere. So you can install proprietary software. However, you cannot install paid proprietary software. You know what I mean? Because the download itself has to be free, or else it's not working with the repository, you know? So I kind of don't like this. This is kind of a dangerous idea people are coming out with is that we need to start monetizing free software, you know? And obviously, I don't mean don't make any money at all, but I am saying that the programs themselves need to be free, you know? Free of charge is sadly one of the freedoms we have with free software. So deal with it. You know what I mean? If you don't want to make free software, don't make free software. But that's I think there's a lot more benefits in free software than just the fucking monetary value of it, you know. So I don't see why this has to be. I really don't like this new idea that's coming around because it's something that's always talked about. They're like, oh, you know, developers got to eat, and it's like, yeah, that doesn't mean they should be charging for free software. You know what I mean? Uh, anyways, that's kind of my rant for today. Is yeah, technically Stallman is right that free does not mean free as in free beer. It means free as in freedom, but it kind of means both. You know what I mean? It, freedom includes free beer. You know, because obviously restricting redistribution means yeah, that's a problem. Obviously, that makes it non-free software. So anyways, that's kind of my rant for today. Happy System 76 Day or whatever. Software Freedom Day. Thanks. Bye.